the mighty god of war, frightened of his own child.
I do not fear our child, Faye. I fear for him. He is innocent.
We are not our failures. We are not who we were. We must be better.
You know, the other day I really started thinking about why did I quit video games? And why I'm trying to quit so many other bad habits that are coming through my life. And it all just came to me that it's all for one reason.
For the sake of our children, we must be better.
And that's the reason why. I started thinking about, my grandfather was already a father at this age. My father was an extremely masculine man, and I'm really not. I'm not a strong man. I don't have very many skills. I don't have a lot of potential. And I just started thinking, what if I have a child in the future and I don't have any of the skills necessary to protect him or her? I couldn't imagine just not having the money or the skills or the qualifications to raise a child properly, or just growing up completely old and having no children, and it just ends with me. And I feel a lot more responsibility now since I've gotten older. Not just because I've gotten older, but I'm also an only child, and I feel like I owe a responsibility to continue on the bloodline. But I want you to imagine yourself, probably, I don't know who's ever watching me. I think my general audience is between the ages of 15 and 25. You're now 30, right? And you have no skills. You're bringing home maybe less than $1,000 a month from your shitty ass job at McDaniel's or whatever. And you have a child, and you see your child for the first time, first time ever seeing, your child's face, and you have nothing to offer him. You have nothing to protect him with. The reason why I decided to get on self-improvement to begin with, why I quit video games, why I started watching self-improvement YouTubers, why I really started going heavily in the gym. Like, I was already working out and whatnot, but I was not going into the gym or nothing like that. Started really working on myself, started making work and productivity and learning skills and hobbies to replace all these instant gratification pleasures. It's because I want to be a better father. I want my child to have a better mother. And I think that's a pretty simple purpose, but I think it's a very important purpose, especially now, since most men nowadays are not men. I can't even call myself a man. I'm not even a fourth of the man that my father was. If you look at the world around us lately, how it's all just starting to crumble apart. Hard times are coming, and I want to be prepared for that. Because there's an old saying that hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. And yes, there's a lot of war against masculinity, especially in schools and at home, since most of the population is being raised by single mothers nowadays. Even though masculinity is at war completely and totally, we have to be better. We may not want to be better, but we have to. Otherwise, you're going to end up dying alone to your carnal desires of instant gratification, rather than having an actual family who will carry on your legacy. That's what I fight for. That's what I'm going to fight for. And I think it's a good purpose, and it should be a purpose that every man should want. Throughout all of human history, it's been always strong men who dominated society. These strong men, they would go out in their ooga booga times, as I like to call them. They go out, They would hunt, they'd feast, and they would grow and multiply. And if you couldn't put food on the table, literally, if you couldn't put food on the table, your children would die. Your family would die. There is a responsibility. Even when you're sick, like I am right now, there's a responsibility to become better, to become stronger. And I think a lot of, especially men, are lacking in responsibility now. And I wish I had learned more of this when I was younger. I wish I would learned this at 15 rather than at 18, 19. I pray for all these men out here, young boys who, are lacking father figures, who are lacking masculinity, who are lacking strength. I pray that they become better men. I pray that they can have masculinity and strength, because look what it's causing for men. Look what feminism is causing for men. It's causing them to become weak. It's causing them to become impotent. It's causing them to become mentally unstable to the point to they either want to commit suicide or they do something even worse. And I think this is something that really needs to be talked about, but society is not simply allowing it, because if you are a strong, masculine male, you are automatically a threat to the one world order. Let's face it. You're a threat, and nobody wants you because you are a threat. It's all these weak, feckless men that are in control of the world right now. And when they see a strong man who is starting to build himself up, they want to tear him down because he is a threat to their power. Understand this. Our world is being controlled by absolutely evil, weak men. We need strong men again. We need to make our world masculine again.
Easy for you to say. He had no love. Love for muscles, I mean. He said goodbye to an irreplaceable love, that of muscles and raw power. He gave all his attention to those loves instead. But strength ended up taking her revenge on him. She's the jealous type, you see?